This is the DJ Henderson podcast. Today's guest is a California native who moved to Tampa and emerged as one of the top basketball talents in the city. As a senior at Carrollwood Day School, she led her team to a state championship and is currently a freshman at Rollins College. Maliyah Perry, welcome to the show.
Hey, I'm Maliyah and I go to Rollins College. I'm a freshman on the women's basketball team and I'm from Cali but lived in Tampa.
You was raised in Tampa. You grew up in Tampa more so?
Yeah.
Representing Tampa? Oh my gosh.
Representing both.
For sure. Talk about just growing up, how everything was in your house and just how you came up.
I definitely had a strong support system within my family, and me and my family were always close. And we grew up playing sports, like each one of my family members. So we were obviously raised in that sense, like we had a strong athletic family, you know? So I've always been an underdog in sports. So like I've always grown up trying to get mine, and like just I'm the oldest too out of my two sisters. So I've always tried to pave the way for them and figure things out on my own so they can have a good example, you know? Go ahead.
I already know what kind of time you're on because I got two younger brothers, so it's the same for me. I'm the oldest. It's kind of like you just got to figure stuff out yourself and just try to set the best example you can for your younger siblings. So I know about that. When did you move from California to Tampa?
I moved when I was 6, but I went back and forth for a couple years after that because my dad had to stay there for a couple years to work there, and then we all moved to Tampa. So, yeah.
What was the difference between like your life in California and life in Tampa originally?
Cali definitely felt like more of a home to me, just because like the environment, the people I was with, I was very close with them. My family's also there, and I just felt like it was more me, you know. But Tampa, it definitely played a part in raising who I was, like who I grew up to be now, and who I'm growing up to be. And I really got into basketball in Tampa. I started out at the skill center. Yeah, I'm pretty sure everybody in Tampa has heard of the skill center because that's where everybody used to be at. But yeah, I started out there. Like that was my first AU team, so that's when I really got serious about basketball. And then I switched to another team, not my choice. The team broke up, and that was called FGB, Florida Girls Basketball. And then I also played on South Beach Elite on the UAA circuit.
When you played on the UAA circuit, what was it like? Wasn't the year that you played the first year that they had it for girls?
Mm-hmm.
So what was that experience like?
It was definitely a cool experience, especially getting to be the first to, I guess, experience the first year of the circuit. They had a players lounge, and that was really cool. Like I played 2K for the first time, you know. So yeah, it was definitely good competition. Definitely faced some adversity, but you know, got through it.
Describe your game and like your style of play to somebody that's never seen you play before.
I wouldn't say I'm a pass first guard or a shot first guard. I'm really a team player as far as like I'm going to do everything in my power to help my team win. So like if that requires me to get a bucket, then I'm going to get a bucket. If that requires me to make the best pass, I'm going to make the best pass. You know, like I feel like I'm more of a leader on the court, being that I am a point guard. So like the ball is in my hand most of the time, so I just have to be smart about what to do with it. And I always loved like being a point guard. So
you was made for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Who were some players that you watched when you started playing basketball when you just were coming up?
Definitely Skylar Dickens. I felt like growing up and even my game now, like I've always trained like her and played like her. Like she's a point guard too, and she could play. She could be a combo guard, but she's really a point guard, and I feel like I am too. Like I could play the two position, but I'm mainly in the one position. And her game, she likes to pull up a lot, and I like to pull up a lot. But she can also drive to the basket, get a contact, and make that layup. So I feel like I can do that too. I just feel like my game really resembles her and how she carries herself too on and off the court. So like how I carry myself on and off the court is, yeah, she influenced that.
For sure. I feel that. Skylar Diggins, the real deal. I'm a Skylar Diggins fan myself, and you feel me? I don't even.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
have her jersey and everything. Like
One day I wasn't with them, but Nico and Kelvin met her at somewhere.
West Shore.
I was blown. I
Yeah.
was like,
I met her too, and I started crying.
crazy. I was so blown I wasn't with them.
Yeah. I remember that day.
So getting to high school, you started off at Brooks de Barlow. Talk to me about what that experience was like your first couple years there.
It was, my first couple of years was definitely, I faced a lot of adversity in school and basketball. To be honest, I was immature as far as like taking school seriously. Obviously I've always worked hard in basketball, but my freshman year, like I'm stepping into high school. I wasn't really serious, so like my mindset was immature in that sense. But then my sophomore year, it definitely got better. Like I grew up. And yeah, I think my sophomore year, we made it to the district championship, but lost to TC. And then I transferred to CDS, Carrollwood Day School. And that's when I really grew up. Like all it was for me was school and basketball.
What went into the decision just transferring from Brooks to CDS?
Multiple things, but the main one was playing and being with my sister. And other reasons was it was a better opportunity as far as basketball and to get a better education, because it's an IB school, so like it's college courses. It was gonna prepare me more for college. Definitely the transition was rough, but I got through it, and I'm proud of myself for that, because sometimes I didn't think I was gonna get through it.
For sure. Like schools, I already, like my brother go to Berkeley. Both of my brothers go to Berkeley now. So like when I hear my parents talk about their like academic stuff, I already know CDS is kind of probably similar in regards to that.
Yeah.
What has it been like playing with your sister?
All we did was have fun. Like I loved playing with her and practicing with her on the court, but we also pushed each other. Like we were there to support each other. Whenever she would have a bad day, I'm like, come on, Milani, you got this, stuff like that. Whenever I was feeling down, she was like, come on, Maliyah, So we were there to push each other and just be there for each other. And that was a great thing to have, because a lot of people don't have that. But like, I was just happy to be able to play with her and like set the tone for her,
That's that's a unique experience. Like you said, that's not really common for people to be able to play with their siblings in high school. But your last year, you ended up making it to the state championship, winning the state championship. Talk to me about first winning it with your sister. That's major, but just what it took to get there, your whole season, just everything, what it was all about your senior year.
My senior year was crazy. So that was probably the biggest year that I've had to like adjust and face the most adversity I've ever faced, honestly. Because honestly, as a team as a whole, we didn't think we were going to get that far, because there was times where you're like, we don't know if we want to do this anymore, or like if obviously we were never going to give up, but like we just never saw ourselves getting to that point again and actually winning it, and towards the last couple of games, I tore 3 ligaments in my foot. So I was in a boot. So I missed a couple of games. And that was definitely hard for me because like it's the last couple of games I'm going to ever get to play in high school. And we were this much closer to getting to the state championship again. So I wasn't able to help my team and lead my team to that. And I was just on the sideline, like so mad. But obviously cheering for my team, still doing what I can to hype them up. But yeah, I didn't let my ankle heal. Like I just was like, forget this. Like, let me just play. So I ended up playing the last couple of games when I really wasn't supposed to. So I didn't get to play how I wanted to in the state championship game. I just did what I could, But my sister, she went off. Like she got the clutch buckets for us. She went off that game. And so did, T-Mac, Tariana Gary?
I don't.
Well, she was another significant player on our team. We all had our significance, but them two, they stepped up the state championship game because a lot of our players were hurt towards the season, like just doing what we could. So that was an exciting game too because it wasn't like a blowout. Like we were going back and forth. We were down. They were down. We were tied. We went to OT, won in OT. So it was definitely a surreal moment and like a breath of fresh air.
I already know, like, again, like my senior year, I tore my meniscus in a game in January. We were playing against Sickles. I thought that it was just like a sprained knee or something like that. So I just sat out. I missed like 2 weeks. I missed like 6 games. I came back 1 game before the playoffs, and I played on my knee like the whole time in the playoffs, district championship, district game after the championship, regional semifinals. And then like after the season finished, basically, I got an MRI and I found out that I had a torn meniscus. So I was playing on a torn meniscus for like all that time. But how you said that you just had to play through it, I felt the same way. Like I just did. Like I couldn't perform at like my highest level, of course, but I just knew that just me being there and just being there for my teammates and just doing what I could, that was like
made a difference.
That was better than it would make a difference, right? So I definitely know what that's like. How long did it take for you to like really realize that you won a state championship, that you were state champions?
I can't believe it to this day, actually. Like I said, it was a surreal moment. We worked for it. So like I said, it was a breath of fresh air because it was like we were working through all this adversity. At times we wanted to just give up, but we didn't. So like, it was like, dang, we finally won. This is ours. We have this.
A lot of people don't realize like how tough it is, period, to just make it through a season and like perform at that level. Like it's not an easy task.
It's a long season too, so.
Very long season. It's always days you don't feel like going to practice, or you don't feel like giving your like you might not like just everything, like giving it your maximum effort. Like it's just tough. But I think just as a team, in order to win a state championship, you got to be really like locked in, be a team. Like
right. And we were that for each other. That was the biggest thing too. We were all there for each other, and like we didn't give up on one another. But I think that's what led us to that state championship the most. The fact that we were all for each other,
Mm-hmm. After your senior year, you signed with Rollins College. What went into your decision with signing with Rollins?
They were definitely a great academic school. So I've always been told that basketball is always going to end. So get your education first, or make sure you're set with your education. So that played a factor in it. Also like going where the money was. So like they gave me and blessed me with the opportunity with the full ride. And I really loved the area. I felt like I would fit in with the playing style here, with the girls here, just with the environment in general. So that's what made me decide to come here.
It just felt right.
Yeah.
when did they find out about you?
Probably the start of my junior year. Our assistant coach, Coach Barry, she emailed me, and like she had been looking at my film and everything. So then that's when we started getting connected and just talking. And I'm really close with her. Like, she's always here for me. I could tell her anything, and that's really rare to me, to have a coach where you can do that with and have that type of relationship with, because most college teams coaches say you can come to them about anything and have that type of connection, but like, you really can't, but this one is genuine. So that's another thing. She the relationships and coaching style also made it easy decision to come here.
Rollins is like a very nice, like high level Division II program, like men's and women's. Like they've been known just to be a good basketball program overall. What would you say to people that are concerned about the level of sport, like the level that they play at or the level that they're being recruited to play at?
Just trust yourself. Trust that your hard work brought you to where you're at, because God wouldn't place you in any situation that he doesn't think you would be fit at or get through. So just, that's the main thing I had to realize too, is to just trust myself and trust God.
That's real. Since you've been there at Rollins, what's been the toughest part about being a student athlete?
I say definitely the school part. Basketball has always kept me going in school. So like, it always kept me motivated to do my work and everything, because if I don't get my work done, then I can't play. So
that's how it's always been for me too. Like my mom's a teacher, so it's always been like that. But
yeah,
like people don't understand. Like college is a little bit different when you playing sports and the work. Like you
yeah,
could, like you be tired from practicing or working out or whatever the case. Like sometimes you really don't be wanting to do your work.
at all.
Have to do an essay or whatever the case, discussion posts, like all these kind of crazy assignments. But you just
Right.
gotta figure out a way to get your work done. Really, if you want to play, like you said, like you gotta keep your grades tight. So that's definitely important. What's been the biggest difference in college versus high school, like the game itself?
So my high school coach, Coach Noor, he pushed us at a high level. So I feel like he did do a good job at preparing us, as far as the seniors, to play here and to get through the workouts. So the transition was smooth for me as far as the workouts and stuff go. But we obviously get pushed here, and we're obviously working hard. But I think my coach did a good job at preparing us to be ready for the college level.
I think my high school coach, it was kind of similar. Like he did a good job of preparing like us and myself just for college, just everything in general, like practices and like preparing for games and stuff like that. But I also just think just getting like in general, just everyday things, like the intensity is just like higher in college.
It's
Like
different, yeah.
it's just like a little bit different. Talk to me about what you think about that.
I haven't gotten to play with the girls yet, as far as like a full-on practice, because of COVID. We're doing phases to where we have to break into groups to train, and we only get one day to actually be with the whole team to work out, So we haven't gotten on the court yet, but I definitely think when we do get on the court, the intensity and the pace of the game is going to be much faster than it was in high school, and the competitiveness is going to be much higher than it was in high school.
For sure. I just being my second year, just everything in general seems to be just more intense, just from
Right.
like you're doing basic drills, like shell drills, like closeout drills, just small stuff. Like you just have to be more like intense. Like in high school, like you could kind of get by just like not just say talking on defense or like whatever the case. But in college, like small things like that are like
You have to be loud. Yeah.
like you have to be loud, you have to bring energy. Like there's no like you can't have bad practices, like you can't have bad days really.
Yeah, every day counts here, so it's like a job for real.
For real. What are some of your goals going into your freshman year? What's your mindset?
So I'm aiming big. I want to try to win a national championship. But as far as like goals, I'm just really ready to get out on the court and play again because I haven't we all really haven't in months. Like I'm just ready to feel that feeling of a game day. So, yeah.
I was just thinking that last night. I was like, before I went to sleep, I was like, man, I just miss like before tip off, just having butterflies or like getting ready, putting on my jersey and my socks and stuff like that. Just small stuff. Like we really haven't played basketball for real since like February, March, really.
And see, I'm not taking that for advantage because like it really can, like people say basketball can end at any time, like you don't know. So I feel like every athlete just witnessed that. So I'm not going to take it for advantage.
Talk to me more about that because I kind of feel that way too. Like after everything with COVID happened and just like everything just came to a stop, I kind of felt like myself personally and in regards to basketball, just like I had to like tighten up and just get right and just be more focused. Like how do you feel about that?
I think from a positive perspective on COVID, I think it changed many athletes' mindsets and mentality to like, oh, I can't take this for advantage anymore. Like, let me go harder because I wasn't going harder before if they weren't, or let me critique this because this is what I wasn't doing before. I think it gave a chance for many athletes to realize what they weren't doing and what they could do better. Because sometimes, like, when life was normal, we were always going every day. Like it was nonstop practice. Like we didn't get a chance to think about, oh, what can I do to improve my mental? What can I do to improve my game? Or like how I act off the court, how I carry myself on the court,
That's facts. Like that's real facts. I've been thinking that since all of this happened, just how temporary things really are that we are taking for granted, just living every day. Like
right.
For sure. What would be your number one piece of advice to somebody that's just up and coming, that's trying to make it?
Like I said before, because this is what I had to do to get to where I'm at now. Just trust yourself and trust God, because like He wouldn't put you in any situation that you couldn't handle, and He wouldn't get you through the day if He didn't think you could handle it.
1K. What's your why? Like, what keeps you motivated to just keep going even though you've seen so much success?
My sisters. That's just the simple fact of it. My sisters, my family really, but definitely my sisters, because I just want to pave the way for them, be a great role model for them, and like to other younger girls and even boys. Like I want them to be like, oh, well, I want my daughter to be like this, or I want my wife to be like this. Just set an example and be a great influence for people, and especially my sisters.
I feel like that too. Like we said earlier, my two younger brothers, like I want to be the best me I can be so that they have like the best version of me to look at, if that makes sense. Like people see my brothers, like they both play sports and they'll always be like, oh, your brothers are going to be better than you and this and this.
Yeah.
And
like you want that.
Yeah, that's exactly like I really like that's the goal. Like it would be like it wouldn't be right if they wasn't.
Be selfish.
Yeah, like that's what I think that's real. All right, so now we're about to do the speed round just to wrap things up.
Okay.
What's your number one thing to do in your free time?
Be on my phone.
Who are your top 5 music artists right now?
Janae Aiko, Summer Walker, Little Durk, Rod Wave, and it's between Lil Baby and Roddy Ricch.
You got a solid 5 for sure. You put
Brent Fires is in there too, but like he's
up
there with Janae Aiko and Summer Walker. Yeah.
That's a nice 5 right there. You got Lil Baby. Lil Baby definitely should be number 1.
I got a dream team. So
what do you see yourself doing after basketball?
So I'm a communications major. So I just chose that because it's a broad major. So like I want to use it for modeling, for working with brands or like sports teams with their social media and marketing it, you know. And maybe you know how like you see people host for Overtime or Ball is Life, want to do something like that, you know, just stick within the sports too. But like also I'm into cosmetology and fashion, so like do something with that.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
To read people's minds.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Who's been the biggest influence in your life this far?
I'd say my mom, because like she just shows me so much strength, and like she's so strong for everybody. Like she takes care of everybody else first, and then it's her. But like sometimes I wish she would take care of herself first and then worry about everybody else. But she's just a great role model for me to just like be strong and like just deal with different adversity. She's always there for me. So
For sure. What's your favorite animal?
I like butterflies. I know it's not an animal, but like
What do you want to improve the most on the court this year?
I'd say driving, or like finishing when I drive, you know, like creating contact in the N1, because I drive and create contact, but like I need that N1.
You want to be able to finish through it.
Yeah, but I'm more of a pull-up type player too, so like just to add that to my game even more, you know, be more efficient at that.
For sure. What's your favorite movie of all time?
Nacho Livery. I know it's silly, but like it just got me through so much stuff. Like I just turn it on and laugh.
If you could meet 3 people dead or alive and spend a day with them, who would they be and why?
Skylar Diggins. Because like I said, she was one of the biggest role models to me as far as like how I carry myself on and off the court. Michael Jordan, because he's a GOAT to me. Loved how he carried himself. I didn't say he was the all-time GOAT. He was a GOAT. Who else? Probably Janae Aiko too, because I really love her mindset and mentality, and like she's very spiritual, and I'm very spiritual too. So
that's a nice little 3 right there.
Yeah.
We all know who the real GOAT is.
No, we don't know who all the real GOAT is.
Well, that's it for the show. Thank you, Maliyah, for being a part of this and giving me some of your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. Tell everybody where they can find you on social media.
Follow me on Twitter and Instagram and Snapchat at Maliyah Sharice.
All that's going to be in the description, all that kind of stuff. Again, thank you for being a part of this. Rollins, freshman year.
Yes, it's going to be a movie, hopefully.
Yes, sir. Thank you again, and see you on the next episode.
Thank you.